ever stop and think when you go to eat a piece of chocolate, exactly where did this chocolate come from? What other beings were affected in bringing me this beautiful piece of chocolate? How is the earth affected in its growing? How were people treated when they were helping with the harvest and the making of the chocolate? Is it fair trade? These are questions I always ask myself, because chocolate is for me an indulgence, although some days I kind of wonder. But for me, it's ultimately an indulgence, and I don't want other people and other beings to suffer in order for me to have a good time, right? And so it was that in mind that I got really excited when I came to visit Nashville and discovered that there was a horse facility in the area about an hour away, Lake Meadow Stables, and they have the same ethics that I subscribe to in that, and I'm really excited to be with you here today and to introduce you to Laura, who is the head trainer at the farm, and the two wonderful horses that we just went for a ride with. Dun-da-da. Hello, Laura.
Hi, this is Mystic River, a 5.5-year-old Tennessee Walker Paso Fino cross. She's our youngest of the lesson horses. And then this is little Topaz, a full purebred Paso Fino, just 3.5 years old. She's in her first year of training. So it'll be a few years before anybody else but me will ride this little one.
Okay. And so one of the things that really attracted me to your farm was that you said your horses are barefoot. Can you tell me why you make that decision?
These horses, since they're trimmed in-house, they're trimmed every 3 weeks, which keeps them in perfect balance. If they need protection, we can always put, basically I call them horse Nikes. We use the Easy Boot glove for ours because it's made for endurance, which is the 100-miler rides in the mountains, and it holds up and protects them, just like us putting on a pair of shoes suitable for whatever athletic endeavor we're doing that day.
And I'm guessing, I know for me, I love barefoot shoes and I go barefoot as much as possible. So for me, it was like a real heart tug. And I know for myself, I think, your feet are like your foundation.
They are.
All of your other structural stuff comes into place. So that was a really sweet choice.
Nope.
Yeah. And then I also noticed that you keep a pretty small herd, like 10 horses or less, right?
Yes.
And when we were riding, Laura was saying that they have 1 horse per acre, no more than 1 horse per acre for grazing, because that's optimal.
Yes, in our area, being the wet southeast. About 1 horse per acre, you're not overgrazing the land and causing erosion and other issues. And then we also rotate between fields.
Okay. And in addition to all of that wonderfulness, check this out. Her horses are largely rehabilitated horses. So I would love for you to share a little bit more about that choice as well.
Well, part of it is just economics. A young, neglected animal is going to be a whole lot less expensive than a fully trained, healthy animal of that same breed. So like Mystic, we found her as a 2-year-old that had gone through several different states and different auctions, hadn't been out of a stall in about 12 months. Very underweight, undersized. I actually didn't know if she'd get the size we needed, but I couldn't leave her there. So I decided I was going to take her on.
When you started to realize that the people that were coming here were often larger people,
We're Americans. We like to eat.
You wanted to make sure that you would have horses that would comfortably handle that size.
Yes.
And I was actually weighed in today, much to my shock and awe, because I don't usually weigh myself, just to make sure that I was the right fit for the horse that she had chosen for me. And I so respect and value that, because that means that these horses are actually, they're being fed food that is grown sustainably. They're out there with someone who's helping care for their feet as well. So there's a level of stewardship for the horses, for the land. And now you're adding one more piece to your business as well, around serving people with disabilities too. How did you make that decision?
Well, part of it is I have rheumatoid and lupus and now Raynaud's. My other instructor's also a Gen Xer. She also has rheumatoid and Raynaud's. So, depending on the month is what limb is not working very well with us, what limitations we have, which actually is the reason I do gaited horses, because in 2004 when I got diagnosed, it went after my feet. If you can't use stirrups, you can't post. And at the time I was into Appaloosas, and that was obviously not going to be able to be continued.
Yeah.
So because these are bred to have a smooth gait, I don't have to use stirrups. So I was able to keep riding. And that's what a lot of people come here. They have different physical issues that they've developed. A lot of them were healthy individuals at one point. And we're all aging, we're all getting limitations, and they want to try a breed and learn about it before they go and invest in it.
Right, right. So then this idea of limitations is very interesting too, because on one hand, we can perceive ourselves as having limitations, but what I'm hearing you say too is that we can open the box a little bit and say, what if we don't call it a limitation? What if we just call it something that we adapt to by finding a better way? And so we find our way, just like water through a creek, towards the more comfortable place that can be joyful for all beings, not just for people who are riding and not just for horses, although we totally love the idea of you guys having a great time always, but that it's something that synchronizes all together and that there's care for that whole picture. So I forgot to say, I'm Kristen Collier with Collier Connections. I'm a writer and a coach supporting people who are looking to connect with their ever-present wellspring of joy. And I am really grateful to be here today and to be able to show you one of the places that I experienced a really sustainable, in my picture, type of business. And I'm really hopeful that the world will go more and more towards, and I'm seeing that the world is going more and more towards that kind of awareness. So we can definitely make a difference by supporting it as consumers, and then also stepping towards creating businesses like that as well. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, comment. Would love to hear exactly what kinds of things you do in your world to support greater sustainability in ways that you enjoy and that you imagine could bring joy to the other beings who are involved.